Brett Cotter knows all things, Brett Cotter, my bad, about personal stress relief research, the practice of it. He has tips on how to reduce stress in your life. But first, we're going to go over the facts of, like, who's more stressed, men or women, workplace stress versus home life stress. Brett, welcome to the program. I appreciate it.
Andy, thanks so much for having me on. I'm really excited to be with you.
Okay, cool. Now, Brett, let's get into stress. First, we're just going to talk generally about, men versus women. And then I want to talk to you about my personal life, because that's just, I have that prerogative, and I'll use this as a therapy session. Now, men stress most by work, women by life, according to the statistics. What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
All right, so men by work is pretty much straightforward. Women by life, it's more so issues around the home, right? So these are issues around family life, their relationships, financial issues that affect home, living situations, not having enough time to get everything done in the average day.
Okay, and now as far as stress relief, men seek out television and video games and drinking. Women seek out sleeping, listening to music, surfing the internet, socializing, praying, reading a book, writing in a journal, eating their favorite comfort foods. It seems like women have more outlets to let go of stress. I mean, I know me. I just, I watch TV. That's how I relax. Or once in a while, I'll go for a jog. But women, they can do like 15 different things. Why is it that women seek so many other outlets?
Well, I think, it goes back to our inherent nature and the inherent difference between a man and a woman. Men are more so built on logic, right? So we're kind of like in that singular tunnel vision. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. The problem there is by the time it breaks, we've had a heart attack. So that's a pretty big problem.
Right.
Women, on the other hand, they are more so feeling. The feminine is driven by feeling, more so than logic. So a woman might decide on Monday to go to yoga class, but when she's stressed on Wednesday, she might decide to write in a journal, depending on how she felt in the moment.
Interesting.
Is how she'll address that stress.
God, women are so complex. They're like a different species. You're saying based more on reason and they're more emotion than reason is what you're saying.
I would say more feeling. So another reason why a woman might report more stress than men, and there are a lot of them, but a woman may be more in touch with her feelings, and stress is something that we feel.
Interesting.
So inherently right there, she's going to report some more stress than a man. Now, for me, when I look at it logically, women are the smaller sex on a violent planet. That right there would make me more stressed. So I'm 5'10" and 170. If I'm in a room and everyone is 6'4" and 200 pounds, I'm going to be a little bit on edge. I'm going to be a little bit nervous, and that's the size difference between men and women. It's 6 inches and 30 pounds.
Never thought of it like that. And now women writing in journals. Do men ever keep journals? This is interesting. Women can seek relief by expressing themselves, but to me, like keeping a journal would seem like more work to me. Why is that?
Again, I think guys are more action-oriented, right? If you think about our evolution as a species and coming through where our stress reaction really helped us out in the caveman era and in tribal life, stress is our fight-or-flight survival mechanism, right? So when a man is in his survival mode, he's usually going to take some kind of action, like with his body, like an outward action. That could be going into the woods and literally bringing back the bacon, or going to the gym or hitting a heavy bag, right? Where women are pretty much, traditionally and historically throughout our evolution, we're kind of tied closer to the home, gathering nuts, berries, stuff like that, making sure the day-to-day things within the tribe and within the family unit were being met. So women might be more sedentary.
Interesting.
Okay? And how they can express that and relieve that could be through painting, drawing, singing, dancing, but not having to go out to a gym.
Right, like as you said, they don't want to hit a heavy bag. No, I don't like hitting heavy bags either. That hurts my arm. Is that normal?
Yeah, well, I think it depends on the guy, and it depends on, the person's past. Okay. I know a heavy bag for me worked wonders for a long time. Okay,
now let's talk about the leading causes of stress for both sexes. It happens to be money, the economy. Now, everybody says money isn't the cure-all, or maybe it's the root of evil. I'm not sure which platitude we could use there. But, money does alleviate certain stresses. America, with the economy being as bad as it is, talk to us about the linkage between, having little money and having a lot of stress.
Great. So that's a great question.
Well, I tend to ask them. I have a gift. Go ahead.
In a nutshell, our stress reaction is super intelligent, and it protects us from the worst-case scenario. So within about a nanosecond, our stress reaction figures out what is the worst-case scenario and wants to drive us away from that. So think about financial stress, right? what's the worst case scenario of not being able to meet your rent or your mortgage payment, right? What's the worst case scenario?
You get thrown out of your place.
Okay, then what's the worst case scenario of being thrown out of your place?
You crash with a friend or you go to a shelter and you're around a bunch of homeless dudes that smell and try to take advantage of you.
Great. And what's the worst case scenario of being at a homeless shelter where people are messing with you?
You lose your integrity. Once you're homeless, you might as well just give up because you can't really listen to radio anymore. You don't count in the ratings. And you're just a flat-out loser. You smell, you can't shower, and you drink.
Okay, good. So I've spent time on the street talking to homeless people in the middle of the winter, and I said to a lot of them, why are you on the street? There's a center 3 blocks away. Why are you here? And they say, if I go there, I get robbed of everything I have, right? So they're on the street and they're homeless. So our worst case scenario of our worst fear is being homeless on the street in the cold without food, without money, without water.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Okay, so that's what our stress reaction is freaked out about when we're not meeting our bills, when if we get a decrease in pay at work, if our job's on the line. Our stress reaction is freaked out about dying homeless on the street. Mm-hmm. So if we could talk to our stress reaction and mentor it in meditation a little bit and work it out and give it a voice, we could relieve ourselves of a lot of that stress and start to make some clearer decisions.
Interesting. So you're saying by confronting the fear, looking homeless people in the eyes, and just saying, it could be this bad, you're saying that's a way to overcome that fear?
No, the fear within ourselves.
Okay,
so you don't have to necessarily go talk to a homeless person. That was something I just wanted to experience and learn from them. But what I'm saying is that fear that drives your own stress reaction, when you're having trouble meeting your mortgage, right, and you're on the verge of losing your house, your body is freaking out, your mind is racing, it's hard to go to sleep at night, right? So what I'm talking about doing is doing a few simple exercises which we could talk through, which will help people resolve and relieve that stress in the moment.
Okay, that sounds a lot better than talking to homeless people, which I refuse to do because I live near Hollywood Boulevard, and a lot of them are transvestite prostitutes. Now, Brett Cotter, I want to ask you some tips, the 2 major tips people can use to alleviate stress. Once again, Brett Cotter, founder of StressIsGone.com, an expert in all things stress relief. Give us those key 2 tips on our way out here.
Okay, so the first thing that I want everyone to do is learn how to stop a stress reaction right in its tracks. The second key is getting to the source of your stress. Both of these things are imperative if you want to change how your body reacts to stress. So there's a few quick points in learning how to stop.
That's all right. Take your time. Go ahead. I'm honestly, I could use this because I just feel like lately my chest has been hurting. Like somebody has like a boot on my chest. I just feel like I'm all stressed out. I'm just a disaster. Because it's like in the radio business, it's so cutthroat. I want to make it so badly, and there's so many other animals in this business. They're not as talented as me, but it's just like that, and dealing with upper management, it's driving me insane.
All right, so this is what I would want you to realize, is that you are in the process of making it. We're going to talk through this tip, and then we're going to get to the root of the stress, okay? We're going to talk through the tip to learn how to stop a stress reaction, because that's super important, and then we'll use you as our little guinea pig in getting to the root of the stress.
How's that? Fantastic. Use me as your guinea patient. Or pig.
All right, awesome. So learning how to stop a stress reaction, the first key is becoming conscious the second your body gets stressed. So if you're upset emotionally, a little like light bulb should go off on your head. Bing, I'm stressed. The second thing you do is start breathing deep and calm, okay? Because when we do that, that's the only thing we could do to shut down our stress reaction. It literally transfers control from our sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. And we go from stress to rest. Now, if you want to de-stress even faster, while you're breathing deep and calm, silently say, I'm okay once per breath in a nice, calm voice in the back of your head.
That sounds like a little hippie-ish, or do I have to do this in private?
No, you could do it anywhere. I do it sometimes when I'm in front of 50 people giving a talk.
It's a little bit embarrassing, isn't it?
No one knows it. It's in the back of my head.
Okay. You don't have to verbalize it. It's just going in my mind.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You could be in a meeting, at a board meeting with 10 people, and you're just sitting there, and you're breathing in the back of your mind. You're just thinking, I'm okay, and your stress will go away within 3 minutes.
Okay.
Now, the reason why saying I'm okay helps, the very specific reason, it's the nature of our fight or flight reaction. Now, when you say I'm okay, that's the opposite logic that built our fight or flight reaction, which is I must run or fight to stay alive.
Okay, and then what's the second thing that we need to do?
Okay, so the second thing is getting to the source of our stress. Our stress is fueled by emotion, right? Now, our emotion is stored in repressed memories that we never resolved. So we have this iceberg, right? And we have a water line. underneath the waterline are all these repressed memories with all this tight, tough emotion inside. Anger, sadness, jealousy, all these things. Frustration, competition. All these things in there. On the top of the iceberg, we have job stress. We have relationship stress. What it really comes down to is the stress we experienced in the household that we grew up in, and the stress we experienced in our elementary school and in high school and in our earlier relationships with cousins, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends.
Okay, so you're saying the way that you dealt with your stress growing up, your past can dictate your present, etc.?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And there's usually a couple of key experiences. You know, there's usually like one or two relationships and one or two key memories that when we resolve the emotional energy inside those memories, everything starts to balance out and you become much less reactive in the environment.
Okay, and do you recommend, as a final question, does drinking alcohol help this or it hurts it?
It's a Band-Aid that hurts your body.
Okay.
So the second you wake up and you have a hangover, you know, the Band-Aid's ripped off and the stress comes back.
Got it. So it's good for a little while, but bad in the long term.
Absolutely. That's why this is a key finding from this study that, you know, got us on the phone today. Men's stress level is slightly less than women, but it doesn't get better. It stays constant over the years. A woman's stress level is slightly higher, but it's less than the previous year. So women are doing something right, and men are doing the same things that really aren't helping them out.
Okay. All right, Brett Cotter, we're going to end it there. You still with us?
Yes.
Okay, stressisgone.com. Brett Cotter. That was interesting. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Great. And we got free tools on our website. If you go down to the bottom right-hand corner, it says free tools.
Is that where it is, where it says free tools is where the free tools are?
That's where it is.
All right. Well,
Pretty
hey,
easy.
Brett, it sounds like a stress-free web exercise.